All right, so if you could you just tell me your name and what your business is and how long you've been in business for with that business?
Yeah, so you're talking to you?
Just talk to me, yeah.
Okay. Dan Haskamp, Taco Speak is the business. We have been open since September of last year. So about 5 months, 6 months.
Okay. What was your inspiration for this business? Why did you decide, I want to create a taco restaurant?
Sure. So I had sold Jimmy John's in New York, moved to Austin, Texas to figure out what I was going to do next, and sort of discovered this really cool taco scene down there. And as much as I wanted to get out of the food business, it's like, wow, I think I can bring something similar to what's going on down here to college campuses and sort of utilize my experience with Jimmy John's. And
you already had an expertise in the field, so
yeah,
you kind of felt like that was
yeah,
not necessarily a bad idea to kind of follow through with more things in that industry.
Yeah, it was sort of just kind of stumbling upon this thing and just realizing okay, I can utilize this experience, and there's room to create a pretty cool, successful business.
And so at what point did you kind of just realize that, all right, this is what I want to do, and then, after you've made that realization, how long was it really before you kind of put your foot down and got the ball rolling on getting this idea going?
So I think I still remember the first time I went to this restaurant, Taco Deli, in Austin, which is a pretty popular place that does essentially stuff very similar to what we're doing right now. The first time I went there, I just realized, okay, this could be successful, and this should be in Michigan, this should be, in the Southeast, because college kids would love this, I would love this, and I've got bad taste in Mexican food. So I realized it right away, just the first time going there, and then from there explored other taco places in Austin, and then throughout the country. But it was about 2 years until we opened the store, but I started working on it right away.
Okay.
And if we would have found real estate, it would have maybe been 9 months.
That must have been the most difficult thing to figure out then, was location?
Yeah, I was sort of going back and forth with this location in Ann Arbor, Michigan, for about 6 months. So yeah, that was kind of a little...
The biggest hurdle.
Yeah. So more just deciding on where the location is, or what city, and what the best plan. I knew it needed to be a college, or I wanted it to be in a college campus, and I wanted it to be in an area, one that predominantly was not known to have great Mexican food. So the Midwest, the Southeast, and then an area that had sort of somewhat of a cluster of large schools that we could expand to other college towns, because I felt like that was going to be the bread and butter.
Right.
So it would be, you've got Michigan State, and schools in Michigan, Ohio, Indiana. So I looked there, or else it was going to be the cluster of North Carolina schools, Duke, UNC, Raleigh, or it was going to be down here in Florida.
Okay. So how far do you necessarily think expansion would go then in say the short term, I guess? Just maybe 2 or 3 stores, 4 or 5, up to 10?
Yeah, I think I'm very conservative when it comes to expansion, just because I like feeling comfortable, and I like being able to sleep, and I'm not trying to impress anyone by saying I've got 10 stores. I'd rather have 3 solid running stores. So yeah, I think within let's say 5 years, I think having 3, maybe 4 stores is doable.
So switching gears a little bit. The advertisement, is that mostly just based in social media right now?
Right now it's pretty simple. It's flyers to apartments in our delivery area. It's getting, essentially the main idea is to get tacos into the hands and mouths of students and people around here. So, doing anything for any charities, sponsoring pretty much every sort of event, and then just going out and saying, hey, here's some tacos we deliver, that kind of stuff.
Kind of like almost a grassroots approach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, that is the most effective way to market, especially a new brand where no one knows. Taco speak, it says taco, they assume it's tacos, but unless, we still get people who come in and are asking for essentially a Taco Bell taco, and it's hard to explain that, I'm sorry, we don't do crunchy ground beef tacos, it's not who we are.
It's just a different thing.
Yeah, so the best way to get it across to people what we are and what we have is give them some food.
Word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking for an employee or a manager or anybody really working for you, what is the most important quality that you feel you need in an employee? Or maybe like a suite of qualities.
Yeah, I think motivation is the, and I guess that sort of encompasses a bunch of things, but motivation is someone who cares about their work and what they're doing, and they're not just, they take pride in what they're doing, they want to do a good job, they want to work. In this kind of business, it's nothing too complicated.
Right.
It's mostly personality and do you want to be there and do a good job. So that, whether or not it's a delivery driver, a cashier, or a manager, that by far is the most important. So,
just dedication to what you're doing.
Yeah, I guess so. And not even, and it doesn't even necessarily need to be to the company, but just someone who takes pride in, and there's that type of person who takes pride in everything that they do. If they're going to be doing something, then I'm going to do it well, or I want to learn how to do this best, just because that's the type of person they are. That's kind of what we're looking for. And obviously, that's not exactly the easiest quality to come by.
Is there any business out there that has that 100%? Probably not.
I don't know. Chick-fil-A is pretty close. Yeah.
Well, they're pretty popular.
Yeah.
What makes you feel like then what you're doing is a success? Or do you already feel like that? Do you see that feeling coming to you in the near future? Or, what's going to be the point when you say, all right, this has been a success?
Yeah.
I think it's already happened.
Well, yes and no. I feel very good about where we're at right now. And there's been, as much as I've had experience in this kind of thing, it's been a bumpy road.
Yeah.
But any business, no matter how much experience you have, there's going to be a learning curve. But I would say, as long as we stay consistent with what we're doing, and we've got we're making money, and we've got a restaurant that people think is cool, people are excited about, and it's kind of it's a juggling act between pushing profitability and trying to do the cool things that you want to do.
Yeah.
And especially in this sort of environment, in a college town, it's kind of hard, because there's definitely trade-offs. So.
All right. And I guess so. Kind of wrap it up. If you're gonna, what advice would you give to someone who's starting out in business, any business really, maybe some sort of overarching principles that you've learned over the years?
I think the most important thing is to do what you know, and if you don't, go get experience in that one thing. So if you want to open up a restaurant, go work for the best restaurant, the best owner you can find, learn from them, or whatever you want to do. You want to be a tax accountant or whatever. Go work for the best place and learn what you can. So that by far is the best sort of training. So, and that's what I've done for every business. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, you're welcome.